And we are live. Hello, all newcomers, and welcome back, my fellow attorneys. As always, it's me, Emperor AP. Today, we are here at the beautiful Talon and Vine Farm. I see we already have the Dominion of Aeternia here with us. Thank you so much for being here, as well as the second joiner of our stream. Thank you so much for being here. I want to bring up an update, an exciting update that we have on the Garden of Nations before we do anything else on this stream. Now, it is starting to get a little late in the day, so we may have a limit to what we can do outside, but if we do and we still have plenty of time, we will transition over to the Hall of the Empire for some continued updates and discussion. For the time being, I want to illuminate an important update. As you guys can see, our first garden bed for the Garden of Nations is doing quite well. Let me go ahead and lower you to the right height to really observe the beauty of the garden so far. Again, let me see if I can get over here. Our eggplant doing all right, growing larger than it had previously. It is improving. People's Nation of Homeland says, long time no see. Great to see you, Homeland. Thank you for being here. We are getting into some gardening, some agriculture for the nation, and this is how it starts. Slowly but surely, we are building up. And so, as you can see, we have our little eggplant here. We then have our pepper plants, which are actually producing a lot of new growth, which is great to see right on those. These beginning three right here are producing a lot of new growth. And then our cabbage coming back to life, starting to perk up a little bit more and doing well. So this is our first garden bed. It is doing well. This hay we have on top really keeping that soil moist, helping us to get some good setup. And this cabbage that had been ravaged by hornworm, because of how high up it is actually thriving, surviving, and is free of hornworm. I don't think, as long as we keep an eye on the bed and make sure none get in, I don't think that they can climb up very easy or that they're searching too hard all this far away from the ground. So I think we're relatively safe as far as pests are concerned so far. Cross our fingers. And now we have the second bed starting to get set up. So we are expanding. We do have the ability to start working on the rest of our plants that we have been letting suffer right now in much smaller pots than they need to. And we can actually go ahead from there and move forward with. Hey, hope everybody's doing well. I am thinking the stream reconnected, but just trying to make sure. All right. Hey, there we go. Dominion of Aeternia says, two people anymore. Thanks for being here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened with the stream. I'm gonna keep going, but let me know if there's any issue. Thank you guys for being here. There we go. 1 and 2. Perfect. I think I got it pretty good. We're gonna try it. Same way we did the last one. Although this one's gonna be weird because this one's not perfectly straightened out like I'd like it to be. Alright. Gonna have to reset. This nail is just too messed up. Trying to get it slowly to sit back in place. I think that might be enough. Not at all. Well, it's getting worked out one way or the other. It's just a little annoying the way we're having to do it. But we are dealing with recycled materials. So that's a little bit of a headache with dealing with recycled materials. Nevertheless, we got it. We make that work anyway. That's what I'm talking about. Look at that hole. There we go. All right. Hey, everybody's back. Thank you guys for being here. Albanistan, great to see you. Albanian said, hey, Emperor AP, remember 3 live streams ago I said I would send you my flag? Yeah, thank you so much. Also, Gotcha Good, great to see you. Victor Fiora, great to see you. Thank you guys for liking and being here. We're at 16 viewers right now, which is huge for our channel. So please keep liking, please keep Aeternia and the Garden of Nations. All right, try and set up the second one for the raised garden bed. Get this last nail in, and then we'll get on to actually putting together the... And I just did it before I finished my sentence. Putting on the liner. Perfect. Okay, so all done with our nails. Going on to the liner. Let me back you guys up a little bit, show you the side by side. There's our current one, the Garden of Nations sign, of course, with our very first addition to the Garden of Nations, which is our friends and our longtime patrons, Vetus Crass. Thank you so much to Lady Elizabeth and all the people of Vetus Crass for being here and supporting us. Arthur Pieria says hi. Hey, great to see you. Thank you for being here. So now we have from the first bed onto the second one that is going up. We are about to grab some fabric to set it up, so I'm going to go grab that, and then I will be back to set up the bed, start grabbing some dirt for it. Before we get too dark, I will actually take you guys for one more surprise. We have some updates on our charcoal. Searching for that. I want to make sure we use our daylight wisely, so I'm going to swap over and show you guys some stuff about our charcoal. So come with me. So one of the first things for people like Albanian, Abrinistan saying they had missed the last couple live streams. They will be in for a treat because we actually started working about, not 2 live streams, last live stream, on making our own charcoal. Now, this is not our charcoal. This is our charcoal, but this is not our charcoal bag. This is just a regular charcoal bag from the grocery store that I am recycling to show you some of our charcoal that we made. We did end up making some. It worked out. You can see pieces, not fully. This is actually very brittle, very hollow. It is 95% charcoal. It just, some parts stayed a little more moist. Other pieces like this, you can see it's basically 100% charcoal. We have a good number of pieces like that. I'm going in with my clean hand. Goodness. We have a good number of pieces like that, and we've gotten, I'll show you guys more, We got about that much of the bag, and that was from like a half failed attempt. If you guys remember our first attempt that we showed last time, here we got these. Again, this one not super good, but still charcoal nonetheless, still working out. We got, yeah, plenty of little pieces like that, a bunch of small pieces. So we have a good amount. Let me see if I can just show inside the bag, if the camera will show it. Yeah, so we got a good few pieces there in the bottom of the bag, but we just did another set. So I reloaded it with the rest of the pieces that I feel like really didn't burn well enough. Any of the pieces that stayed wet, and as you can see, still smoking. I started that quite a few hours ago, so we will go and check in on that, and I can show you guys some updates while I also turn our, ooh gosh, got stuck on the fence. Wow, that was crazy. Oh dang, ripped my shirt. Look at that, hold on. That is crazy. Ripped my shirt. Ripped a hole straight in my shirt. That's crazy. Alright. Guess I gotta be more careful as I do the exact same thing I just did. Alright. Here we are. That behind me is our little fire pit. The things that we have been cooking in there are still very much cooking. I will show you guys. There's quite a bit of oxygen still rushing into this guy, and I'm kind of nervous about that, so I'm going to leave it be, except for trying to see if I can't lift the handle up. See if I can do this one. Need something a little smaller than this. I'll start with this stick and then work my way up. There we go. Thank you. Alright. So this guy, very much still burning. I actually need to find some way to add some more weight here so that this thing really does collapse and kind of reduces the airflow so that we can more efficiently make the charcoal. Let me show you guys how cool this setup is though. Again, we have a bigger bucket. The last time we were using something a little bit smaller than this, and we really didn't get a great output like I showed you guys earlier. We got something, but this will be a little bit better. I actually custom cut a piece of sheet metal to fit as a lid for this. So there's just a bucket, metal bucket with a handle, and I actually fit that little lid to it. It probably needs to be cut a little better because there are, as you can see, plenty of places where air is getting in. So we will be having to update that and improve it, but not too bad. We got a decent amount on a, again, fractional success. So this one should be a little bit better. We have it filled up a little higher than we did originally, and we have some thicker sticks. So hopefully that will help out. Hey, Queen Bougie's here. Great to see you. Queen Bougie said, good, I caught the live. Hello, Emperor AP. Hello, everybody. How's it going today? We're doing great, Queen Bougie. I hope Mecklenburg and Brown's Palace is doing well today. I would love to open this for you and show you more of our charcoal, but it is currently on fire, so I will have to show you that in the future. Let me show you this. You just missed me showing off our other coals that we did make. As well, I want to show you this. We have this completely combusted, super efficient combustion process. You can see everything's white. There's not really a ton left to look at here, but this is still incredibly hot. This is still burning. You can see it's still red in there. And so if I grab some, dry grass, something like that, and throw it in there, it'll catch right on fire and start right back up. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to grab some more sticks and dirt and stuff and throw it in here, get another small fire going, just to finish this guy cooking. It's been on for maybe an hour and a half. I don't think it's nearly fully combusted. I think it's just drying out a lot of that wood still, and maybe cooking the outside, but we really need that inside done. So we're gonna collect some more stuff. Oh, 9 viewers, thank you guys for being here. Albanian says that's new. Absolutely. Again, a way that we can cut down on our reliance on the outside. Of course, we cook every day, so being able to have some charcoal where we can grill more often, especially that we produce, you know, from wood that we know is grown on our property, that is something that's not sprayed or not used in any weird way. We can just make our own charcoal. It seems easy enough. So we need to find a way to make it more efficient, because we don't want it to be something that's more time consuming than it's worth. We want to be able to make it in big batches so that eventually we can get a full size bag like that and say now we can grill 4, 5, 6 times for a group of people before we have to make another big batch. And eventually, if we can get to bigger and bigger bags, we could give it away to people or use it for larger and larger stuff, and eventually start using it for our metals refining industry. So that's how it's going. I hope you're doing well. Again, Queen Bougie. Queen Bougie said, "That's crazy. You got it going though. Good job. Thank you so much. We did get it going, and we're gonna keep getting it going if I can get this thing to stop being on fire." So I'll leave you guys with a cool image of this thing on fire while we hang out for a moment, and I go and run and throw some more grass on there. In fact, I'll come back and I will show you when I throw some dry straw in there how this thing lights up. And see if I can quickly go and grab some wood. Might be some over here actually. This will work a little better. Give you guys an example. So I'm going to start this back up. I accidentally dropped a little tiny stick in there. I don't think it'll catch fire, but it could. That could be the start of our next little set. But I think I'll just prep some of this. Once I get done with that, we will go ahead and start stacking it, throwing it on, and it should catch fire pretty quick. There we go. Thank you. And then these guys again. That lid is just open way too much. I am not excited about how much that thing is burning. That means we are burning away a good bit of our charcoal, which isn't great. It means our process is a lot less efficient than it could be, but it's something. We're still getting charcoal. We just gotta improve the process. That's the dream anyhow. Let me see if I can dig up some dry grass right here. Fairly dry anyhow. Some straw. And I'll show you guys as I do this so you can watch it catch. If it does. Let me see. How can I set you guys up? I'll try this. I need to get you guys in a position to where you can kind of see down in there, and that may be just a little bit easier said than done. So this is going to be where the challenge comes in. Let me see. I think that's a little too close. Maybe this. I mean, that is right on the fire. That is going to be very hot for you guys, but we'll start out with this. I'm just going to go ahead and go and start throwing stuff in. That's going to, I'd imagine, catch relatively quick, but it's a little wet, so I'm nervous about it. Nevertheless, we will be fast. Yep, already catching fire. Already going. We're gonna have to watch out. This thing will cook quick. All right. Smoking a lot. I don't know if you guys can see too much over that smoke, but it is going, going, going. Going, going, going. All right. Throwing more sticks in. Little ones anyhow. Going, going, going. Give me 1 second, everybody. I am going to throw these larger logs on here. We're going to let this dry out for a second. I'm going to have to step aside for 1 moment. I will be right back. Hopefully you guys don't catch on fire through the computer or phone or whatever it is you're watching us on. But I believe in you. I think you'll survive. You're an outdoors person or not. You're an indoors person watching something outdoors. It counts. It counts. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me set you guys back, actually, just in case you guys will be able to see the flames if it does catch on fire. But I will leave it right there for just a moment. Alright, so you guys can see the smoke has started picking up. Oh, I'm so far away from my mic. Let me see if this thing's still on. It's not still on. Hello guys, hope y'all are doing well. Bunch of questions. Let me see if you guys can hear me alright. I'm going to pick up my mic so it doesn't seem like those are alive anymore. So, Arthur Perry says, I'm your fan. Thank you so much. It means a lot. You are number 2, and then Queen Bougie got number 2. I don't know how this worked out. I will answer all questions, and then we can get back to it. Oh, this thing's catching fire. Hold on. Whoa. Oh, Nelly. Whoa, gosh golly. Yeah, look at that. Efficiency. Fire. Ha ha ha. Caveman. Okay. So, what we're going to do now, we got that thing cooking. Dangerous situation. We got that thing cooking. Dangerous situation. Let me move this hot metal lid so we don't start more fires. This stuff should be all right for the moment. I should probably go and get more wood, and we will continue. So, follow me, everybody. Let me answer questions before I go. Koriskov says, are the ticks out where you are at? Make sure you nip those buggers. They can carry some awful infections. Thank you so much, Korsakov. Yes, there are ticks. Absolutely. Here in North Alabama, here in the Empire of Aeternia, there are plenty of ticks. The North Alabama region is notorious for ticks and spiders and mosquitoes and all sorts of nasty buggers. So we will for sure get them. Thank you so much for that. We do have to watch out. We have to do like tick watch, you know, when we get back in after working, after doing stuff, especially out at Batay, which is our capital territory. It's complete brush, so it's just wood line, and you know, we're walking through bushes and trees and stuff, so little shrubs. So yeah, we're having to constantly go back and then do like a tick check on everybody, you know, when we get back from there, you know, kind of do our own self-inspection. So we do have to be vigilant about that. In fact, we have a citizen, Joey, who is our first noble in the House of Solace. He is working on health and safety for the Empire of Aeternia. He's going to help us develop plans. He was a EMT previously. He's trained as an EMT, And so being able to help us design emergency safety plans, things like that, for out at Vitae as well as here eventually will be great. So having him is a very valuable asset. Certainly his knowledge will be consistently sought out. But that being the case, we should get some pretty good plans out here for evacuation, for medical emergencies, for things like that. So that's the dream. And Joey has been super enthusiastic and super helpful on the things that he's been able to contribute to so far. So that being the case, I'm excited for getting those safety plans and developments built up as time progresses. For the time being, I got a small little handful of sticks to take back with us, throw on that fire, keep things going, and we'll get back. Now this isn't a ton, just a minute or two of wood, especially for a fire the size that we got going. So this really isn't going to maintain it, but being able to do this for, the extra 30-45 minutes while we're live, being able to throw that pot back on, have our charcoal cook a little longer, that's worth it. That's worth it to me. So you can already see how much our fire's burned down already. I'm just going to throw that right on top. Not this one, I'll have to break this one up a little bit. Yeah, throw that right on top. Expand our fire out maybe a little bit. And then, let's see if I can do this with some degree of safety. You guys let me know. Pulling my bricks off. This thing's freaking out. Alright, up. Got it. Setting it back in. Oh, I dropped it. Oh, I dropped it. Oh. Okay. Got it on the fire. Just to prove to you guys. Got it on the fire. This thing is going. Go up. Fell. Okay. It's more stable now, at least. That's progress. But we are cooking this thing. Even when this fire goes out in probably a fraction of a minute, this will still keep cooking. This ground is very, very hot that it is sitting on. So we can obviously throw more stuff around it, keep the fire going just a little bit longer, but that'll cook. That'll cook for a little while. That'll keep it hot, keep that steam evaporating out, and keep cooking that charcoal till we have maybe half the bucket or so will be usable. Probably the other half will either be burnt to a crisp or still a little wet. But it's progress. Okay, so Korskov says, Queen Bougie says, I'm not professional at all, but I'm not professional at all, but for mass production, we may need to cut down a tree in the future, LOL. Absolutely. Well, and there are plenty of trees here, but there are plenty down as well. So I think being able to get scrap, especially from a rural community like this, I don't think will be hard at all. People cut down trees all the time that they don't want. Facebook Marketplace full of people saying, hey, can we get somebody to pick up these lawn trimmings or this full tree that we have down? So I don't think, if we get the right equipment, if we really start mass producing, I think that'll be fine. But again, we're really just trying to do it for our own means right now. I don't think we're trying to make money off of charcoal, so we should be doing well for that purpose. Let's see. People's Republic of Koheko says, yo, what's up? Let me know if I pronounced that right. I think it's Kocheko. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. Queen Bougie celebrating, as always. A wonderful spirit, a wonderful introduction. Kocheko said, want to ally? I'm a new micronation. That's a great question. We do have an application, so feel free to apply at aeternianempire.wixsite.com/Imperial Market, or you can click the link in the description. Head on over to our website and look into the Alliances tab. Lady Elizabeth said, y'all should look into guineas for tick control. Thank you so much, Lady Elizabeth. I think you're right. Also, while you are here, please check your email. We sent you an email about the Garden of Nations. In fact, if you watched earlier on the stream, if you're still here, I'll go ahead and show you right now while we're waiting. Again, look at that cool fire. Still going, still trying. Let me hop the fence. And I want to show you that you are on the sign for the Garden Nation. Beatus Crafts is officially the first nation that is a part of the Garden of Nations. You guys have been our patrons for a long time. You guys have been supporters of us for even longer. You've been friends in the micronational community. You've been wonderful to us. You sent us an amazing care package. I could go on and on and on. You guys are just sweet and thoughtful and cool. And so, that being the case, the Garden of Nations, our wonderful sign, and look at that. Beatus Crass, the first micronation on the Garden of Nations. One of our founding nations for it. This will be something eventually in the future that for other nations we charge for and we'll have extra perks and stuff for, but for Beatus Crass, free of charge. You guys support us plenty enough, and we just want to show you thanks. So thanks, as always. Means a lot, and we're just excited to talk to you guys. Hate is Gate says, what you getting ready for, pal? Ritual and shit. Hey, I appreciate it. That's a good question. So, one, we're getting a garden together. We got one raised bed completely built with some produce in it. We are getting our other raised bed built. So it's one of the things we're doing. Garden of Nations, micronations coming together, helping to feed the community, helping to support each other, helping to prove that we can make a difference. So that's one of the things we're up to. The other thing we're up to right now is making freaking charcoal, lighting wood on fire in a furnace, in a char pit. I guess it's kind of generous to call it a furnace, but it is a fire pit, a char pit, a smoker. It's a something that we are using to cook wood for a long time and dry it out. Let me see. Ooh, our fire's still going. Real efficient fire, just barely, but that ground is hot. If we drop something on there, it'll smoke right up. Let me see. Got a little piece of wood right here. And maybe a little too thick. Damn. But we are doing that. We should probably have something that's a better cover for this, but making that charcoal, letting it cook, making some progress. But thanks for supporting, thanks for noticing the fit. Of course, I'm the Emperor of Aeternia, so gotta dress a little regal, gotta show support for the Empire, gotta represent the Arrow of Progress. That's what we're out here doing. Building, making the world a better place. Albanian says, I might be moving to another place to have my micronation. Very cool. Congratulations, I wish you well. Kaheko says, Kochiko. Oh, thank you, my apologies. Kochiko says, sick. Hey, very cool. Queen Bougie says, looks good. Sarusia says, greetings, everyone. Greetings, Sarusia. Thank you so much for being here. Lady Elizabeth says, we are honored. Definitely will check the email. Thank you so much. That means the world. And again, thank you guys so much for supporting us all these years, being friends of ours. It means a ton. Kachiko says, it's all right. Very cool. So that's what we're up to out here at Talon and Vine Farm today. The one thing I want to do before the sun goes down and it gets dark is I want to go ahead and flip our compost pile. Our compost pile has been going for a little while now. We have had that project going probably the longest here. So that is the one that we are sticking with, getting the most progress out of as well, as it tends to go. So what we're going to be doing, getting our compost pile ready, going to flip it a little bit, set you guys down right here. I keep talking to you, keep blabbing. We throw that plastic bag on top to make sure that the sun heats it up just as much as it can throughout the day, that it soaks in as much of that thermal. We're going to just move. So what we're doing is we're rotating the compost pile so that more air, and also so that so that it's a little more evenly pressurized and worn and compacted together. So we're decompacting some parts, recompacting other parts, getting it nice and evenly heated, nice and evenly oxygenated as best as possible. Try to do this about once a day, and that's helping us to just turn this big pile of what was lawn clippings and green, blackberry bushes and stuff like that into a pile of what looks like hay and dirt now, which effectively it is. But this will be great. As we throw more greens into it, it'll get richer and richer in vitamins and minerals that will go to feed those plants in that garden bed. We're going to eventually start filling it up with this stuff, but probably wait a few months to do that. Get it real nice and ready.
Look at you. You don't even have your mic on.
No, I know. I'm just yelling out to the phone. My mic died, unfortunately. But I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm trying to be loud for you. I'm trying to be a proud Aeternian. Represent.
You got the keys?
I have the switch keys.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn stuff off in the building.
What? Love you, bud.
Me too.
Alright. So we're almost done rotating this pile. Get more of our compost. Nice and mixed. And similarly, we do something for our quail, where we have them in what we call a quail tractor, what a coin, somebody, whoever first built it, named it. So we are setting that up to rotate around the yard, basically just shifting it once a day from its current position to a new one, letting them graze on bugs, letting them get in a space that, you know, they're free of their own waste and stuff like that. It also makes it easy for us to collect any eggs that they've laid, because instead of searching for them in the hutch, we can just kind of pull the hutch to the side and pick them up out of the grass. So it's a nice little system. Always trying to improve it. We had to first set it up well for the dogs that came and brutally murdered our first flock. So amped up security, built the second trailer tractor, more like a quail tank now. And we've been moving forward ever since. We've started getting about 1 egg a day, and we have 5 quail, 4 females to 1 male. So we should be looking at, when we start in our production, about 4 eggs a day. That's what we were dealing with previously. That's what we should get this time. One of the things that is nice about that is that in addition to getting those 4 eggs, we have incubators now, so we should be able to start incubating and getting some more chicks. Now, we don't want to keep too many of them in the same flock as the same birds. That's not good. We need to be able to get new genetics into the flock, so we will still have to buy quail, unfortunately. But it will be something that allows us to expand our flock a little bit and allows us to create more quail for meat purposes. Egg purposes and meat purposes. Albanian says it's lagging. Uh-oh, sorry everybody if we were lagging or glitching. I just got our compost pile finished. I'm out here with my pitchfork, looking real threatening like a farmer. I don't know that farmers are threatening at all, actually. But we're out here. I'm done with that, so I can take you guys back to check on our coals. And then I think we will be headed inside to the Hall of the Empire, so I can talk to you guys a little bit about progress updates and where we'll be at this time in a month. If you guys know what's coming up around this time in a month, let me know. Drop it down in the comments. That would be awesome to hear you guys, if you know the lore behind Aeternia. Kachiko says, it's alright, I can deal with it. Queen Bougie said, so you know when your blackberries are in season for picking, so would you know when your blackberries are in season for picking, or I believe the word is harvesting, like springish? And quail eggs are very nutritious. Yes, Queen Bougie, so we just finished our blackberry season. We pulled out all our bushes now because they were just rotten on the vine. But that being the case, yeah, you know, basically early June through July is pretty much blackberry season. This is the end of blackberry season. You know, maybe a couple weeks ago or so, really the end of blackberry season. But we are now starting into our elderberry season. So if you're interested in learning more about that, let us know. Right now we made like a test batch of elderberry juice. That's something I'd love to show you guys in a future video. But now we have collected more elderberries. They keep coming in, a bunch of them. So we're actually going to make syrup. and that's something that we're working on. And again, our eggs. 2 plus 2 equals 5 says, is that where the bodies are buried? Yes, in this compost pile right here. Get them. You can come get them. It's the bodies of all the blackberry bushes that did not get picked this year that we were so sad about. And it's also the bodies of all of the fallen grass that we had to cut to be able to make trails, to be able to walk in our yard and stuff. And vines and elderberries that we cooked and smashed up to make that first batch of juice. It is the bodies of all of our produce and harvest and natural landscape here.
The leftovers that we can't use.
It is the remains of the earth going back into the earth to fulfill its cycle and destiny. Yeah, it's a compost pile. Albanian says Microcon 2027 early bird promo is still here. Hey, very cool. Yeah, I know Slowjamastan is doing it. It's very hype. Coach Chico says, what's elderberries? Elderberries are a little fruit that is super nutritious. It has a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. Super healthy for you. Antioxidants. People use it for a lot of immune support, stuff like that. People take it when they're sick. It's really good with vitamin C, vitamin A. Anyway, it is a little berry that I can actually show you. Cool. Tiff's saying stay here. She's going to grab one. So it's a little tiny berry. They grow in big clusters, and they are green when they are underripe, and they turn red, like a deep purple red when they are ripe. The juice from it is like a bright pink red. It's very pretty. I want to make a bunch of stuff with it. You have to boil them though. You can maybe eat 1 or 2 elderberries without issues, but elderberries are toxic raw. So they say you should cook every variety of elderberry just to be on the safe side. They contain anthocyanins, I think is what it's called. Don't take that with a grain of salt, but cyanide, basically, cyanide extracts that are poisonous. So you have to cook them before you can make them into products and eat them. But these are elderberries. Let me see if I can show you guys a little bit better. Phone camera's not great. These are them. They are very cool, very little berries. You gotta pick a lot to get juice, but they are very, very cool. In fact, I'll take these inside later and add them to the 1.5 cups of berries that we got yesterday to continue to make juice and other things. That is true. You do not want the green ones. Tiff's right. These little darker red berries are these pretty purple, like Imperial purple. They are the ones that are ready to go. These deepest, darkest ones ready to go. And then, of course, the light green ones are not. After we have these, after we have elderberries, the next thing that's coming up right behind it in season, they're almost ready. They'll be ready probably early August. Muscadines. We're also going to have muscadines, which will be really crazy. They're big, fat grapes, so I'll have to show you guys those.
Also high in antioxidants.
Yes, also these are high in antioxidants. The muscadines also high in antioxidants. I'll have to hit you guys up about those. It's pretty crazy. Albanian says, what do I do on the first day of Microcon? They have an itinerary. You don't even have to worry about what you do on the first day of Microcon. I think there's generally like a warming, like house warming party, welcoming party. So generally the day before Microcon, when we went in 2022, there was a banquet at, I think it was the leader of West Arctica's house, Grand Duke Travis. So you could go there if you wanted to, or a house connected to them in some way. You could go there as kind of a pre-party the day before Microcon officially started, and then the next day, the official banquet, the first day, I think was the poster presentations and kind of the displays portion. A lot of the speeches happened that day. So that was the first day of Microcon officially, but everybody who goes to that before party kind of knows each other a little bit from that. We didn't end up making it to that before party, but the first day of Microcon was easy enough. You set up your poster if you bring one, set up your display, and talk to people, mingle, have fun, get to know everybody. See all the cool micronations that are there. Get to geek out. Oldham said hi. Kushti said greetings. Hey Kushti, thank you guys for being here. You guys haven't been in a live in a minute. Excited to see you. There's so many updates we have. I don't know if you guys know anything about our second territory, Talon and Vine Farm, a basically 16-acre property that we are super excited about and excited to tell you guys more about. So that being the case, I know you guys at one point hit us up about a goat. Not saying we can get it right now, but this may be an opportunity for us one day to take on a goat. Queen Bougie says, so anyway, please email us, Kingdom of Kushti. We would love to talk to you more. Queen Bougie says, do they naturally grow on the farm or do you plant? So I believe these technically were planted a long time ago, but they are natural to, they are native to the state of Alabama, and they are an amazing little crop. We have a bunch of them around here, so I'm sure some of them were initially planted, but a lot of them just grow naturally because they are growing. Same thing with the muscadines. The muscadines are native. Oh, bye. Tiff, can I keep that though? Ah, thank you. Tiff threw me the lighter, so if I need to start another fire, we know what's happening. That being the case, the muscadines are the same thing. They are naturally occurring out here insofar as they keep self-propagating. We're not replanting muscadines out. They were probably planted here years and years ago by the people who started this farm. They've also planted some amazing other produce growing operations, such as a large pecan tree that has clearly been here for many, many years. So it's incredibly exciting. We have a lot of opportunity. Oldham says, I'm ready to have seven states to my micronation. That'd be impressive. What would you do with them? Kochiko says, I thought of making our own version of Microcon because we are on the other side of the USA in New Hampshire. Oh, that makes sense. Well, I would say, yeah, that's kind of far for you guys. A lot of them have been on the West Coast because of molossia being near the West Coast, West Arctica having, I think, previous ties to the West Coast and still a lot of ties to the West Coast. Of course, slowjamastan now becoming prominent, having ties to the West Coast. A lot of it is West Coast micronations, but they have had East Coast events before. I think the previous Microcon was in Montreal this year, so that would be, you know, closer to New Hampshire. I'd say you could definitely start one though. I'd say you could even hit up Microcon and ask them about starting one, because that's what some people in Europe did. And they have two separate Microcons now, one in Europe and one in the US. So you could definitely ask them about that. Kingdom of Kushti said, will do. Thank you so much. And thank you for being our third, number 3 top fan. It means a lot. Albanian says, what kind of posters should I make for Microcon? It's ones about your nation. Tell people about what you think is important about you guys and what you do and what you stand for. Why you are the Communist Republic of Albania. What does that mean? Oldham says, my state to my micronations named Oldham Republic, Victoria, Clarkson, Raven, Jasmine, Old Hamstria, and Soulthorn. Very cool. Those all sound very, not only royal, but like mystical names almost. I love them. It is getting dark, as you can not see me anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can't start a little blaze going to get us some more light out here, and then I might run inside to provide some artificial lighting and see if that helps out. We still got a good bit of time on the stream. I was going to go inside and show you guys the throne room, the hall of the Empire, as it were. But I think we'll stay out here and check on these coals for a little bit. Let me throw some more grass in there just to get something started, and then I will go and get some artificial light to start the party again. Yeah, if you can see, I'm tearing up some hay, throwing it off to the sides over here, trying to get something started. I'm now trying to just knock as much of it away from the actual container as I can. That stuff's drying out pretty quick. I think it may be too spread out to actually catch fire, but we'll see. Thank you guys for 10 likes and 7 viewers. That means a ton. Queen Bougie said, I actually saw a documentary on Microcon like 10 plus years ago. I've been hooked ever since. Then I saw AP on YouTube and I found my tribe. LOL. I say go and have fun. Absolutely. Microcon is a great experience. I think kind of go in with an open mind though. Whatever your experience is, take it for what it is. You know, get to know people, try to do your best. But ultimately enjoy it as a vacation, enjoy it as an experience, a way to tour other micronations, to see what's out there, to get inspiration, to have fun. I went into it, I think, thinking of it almost like a business trip, and that's the wrong way to go about it. That's not super fun, it's a little bit stressful, and also it just, you know, I was thinking there need to be a lot of prep to try and make deals and plans with other micronations, but that's not really the spirit of Microcon. The spirit of Microcon is pageantry and showing off and being silly and having fun together, and connecting with other people who have decided to create countries, which is a wild idea in itself. So definitely enjoy yourself, and I can't wait to see how it works out. Communist Republic of Albania says, what time is it on your side right now? I'll be going on my TV now. I will not be talking until the end of the live stream. Oh, okay, makes sense. I appreciate you letting us hang out with you on your TV. That means a lot. Old Him says true. It is very cool. Also gives us the additional viewer. You know, right now we're going for an hour. So if we had 6 viewers for that whole hour, that would be 6 watch time hours for us. That's a big deal as far as our growth and development on YouTube. So that's huge. Again, you're right now, Albanian, you are our #1 top fan on the stream. So that's big for us. We, in fact, one of our citizens, government official, James, he has actually recommended that we take on Nightbot, a streaming bot that hopefully could give us some more stuff in the way of benefits and stuff for you guys. That being the case, I need to try to figure that out. I am not great with setting stuff like that up, and I don't know if it will work for phone streams. 99% of our streams are phone streams, so I don't know how well that'll work out. But I'll have to test it out, see if it works. If anybody knows, if anybody's like, I've used Nightbot before and it's easy and this is how you do it, please reach out, please let me know. I would appreciate it. Oldham says, you are the best micronation communist ever, Albanian. Hey, very cool. Dynamic says, can you get a spotlight or a flashlight? I sure can. I'll do you one even better. Let me go turn on some lights, just in general in the background, and then I will actually come out here and start a fire, which will give us some light. So, double light, give me 1 second to like sprint off. If anybody joins this live stream, grab them and hold them here and sit them down and say, like the stream, hang out with us, give them a second, it'll be right back. And I will. Thank you, Dynamic. So just, you know, you're our bodyguard. You're our door guard. When somebody comes into the stream, you gotta grab them and block the door. Don't let them out. We'll be right back. You got it, Dynamic. We trust you. We believe in you. Keep them entertained. Okay. I don't know how much it helps, but I turned a couple lights on. And we'll see how well it works. Let me see. Marginally better. Dynamic says, now I am the bodyguard. Thank you so much. I disappointed you though. I did not fully get us going back. So let me do this. Let me get a little fire going for us, and we'll tell some stories around the campfire. How does that sound, Dynamic? How does that sound, Cochico? Let's get it going. I just gotta find a few more sticks. A little more grass. Then I'll probably just bail and go inside. Let's see. Alright. Trying to get it going. Our charcoal still just living its life. Just trying to exist. I am trying to make sure to grab, there it is, our lighter. Uh-oh. There we go. Oh, there's so little oxygen in here. Hold on. See if I can get something started. Oh, wow. Okay. Yep, now we're going. Now we are cooking. Hello, everybody. Let me get actually on the other side of the flame so you guys can see me a little better. And we can hang out around the campfire. Good to see everybody. Okay. Now we can talk a little bit better. Albanian says, I'm back for only 30 minutes. Thank you so much. I completely understand. And I hope you have a good night when you do have to leave. Old Hemp says, okay, Albanian. Albanian says, and thanks, United Old Hemp. Queen Bougie says, you got it, AP. Thank you guys so much for holding the fort down, keeping the stream going. It means a lot. We are running out of light. I just kind of did this to hang out with you guys for a minute long to give you some flair. Let me... Gosh golly, I guess I'll hang out with you guys in the throne room. I need to go and get the key though, is the only thing. So if you guys are still down to hang out for a few more minutes, I can go grab that key from Tiff. She got, wait, hold on, she might have brought it back. No, she brought it back, I'm tripping. Everybody who is a Tiff supporter, Tiff fans in the building, y'all call me out. I was trying to blame Tiff for my own missing keys when it was completely my fault. Y'all hit up Tiff next time she's on stream. Y'all tell her that I was trying to call her out for some nonsense and that she needs to get me back for it. So this is an official record of me being just wrong, flat out wrong on a thing. But we are now here. We are at the Hall of the Empire. Let's go inside. I'll probably need to clean up, so forgive the mess. Preemptively. Not too bad. Okay. Let's get set up and hung out. Goodness. Let's get set up and we can hang out. Let me know if there's any streamer connection issues while I'm setting up, please, guys. Okay, so I think that should be pretty good for the stream. Let me get a little closer. I will turn on our lights. And we can discuss future developments in the Empire. Okay, so here we go. Good to see everybody. There are a few things I want to talk about. I'm actually going to lower this a little bit more so that we can be more on eye level, talk to each other a little bit better. Let's see how that works. Okay, still fine. Still good, actually. Let me lower you guys down just a smidge more. How is that? I think that works beautifully. Okay. Perfect. Great to see everybody. I'll keep that other light on. I know I'm jumping around, guys. Sorry. Let me get you guys a little bit better viewing. So, what we are talking about today, as you guys saw, we have a lot going on at Talon and Vine Farm. Talon and Vine Farm, our second territory, our biggest in landmass territory and acreage, as well as our largest producing territory thus far. You know, Vitae, it is our capital. It is the place that we want to develop and put people to live. We want that to be our largest area of progress, our largest area of support. That being the case, right now, it is undeveloped. It is something that doesn't have the resources or supplies that can just get it sprung up and started like we do here. This place was pre-built for us. This place was already developed and had so much going for it and growing and existing here. And then it just kind of, you know, the owners over the years did less and less with that farm aspect of it, but it's still a farm. So all we've been doing is just knocking some of the dust off, pulling things out, getting things started again. and we're moving forward. So that being the case, I am super excited about Talon and Vine Farm because it is a launch pad for everything that we want to do at Vitae. Everything that we have been planning on and dreaming and scheming with you guys to get started, to find ways to claw progress out of the little means that we had for the longest time. We got that territory in Vitae, and we did not have the means to develop it. We barely, snail's pace crawling forward, slowly making the difference. Now we are able to build up and secure here, get Talon and Vine Farm really moving, and then we can launch off further and further out at Vitae. Take all those resources we built up here and then pool them into Vitae. That gives us more territory expansion. That gives us, more areas of the state of Alabama we can reach. And it also gives us a lot more support as far as the people who can come and support, more support for the people who can come and visit these different territories. So not everybody can make it over to Talon and Vine Farm. Not everybody can make it out to the Tay. So them having a little distance from each other, that distance when we just had Vitae was a crutch, and it was a crutch, was a weakness, was a struggle for us. It was this long gap that not only did we have to bring all of our equipment and everything we wanted to do to develop out there in every trip, but we also had to make the trip and then come back, and it was really difficult. So Talon and Vine Farm is not only a great median between where we were previously and Vitae, it's a little closer to Vitae, and like I said, it has those resources, that availability to be developed, and now we are building the means to carry that out to Vitae in the future. Another thing to discuss, I see there's a few more comments there. Dynamic. Let me jump in. I'll just talk to you guys for a moment before I jump on the next topic. Let's see. So, let's see. Okay. Chico says, do I got an economy or bills? So if you're asking about us, the Empire of Aeternia does. We have a currency. It is the Imperial note. Queen Bougie is right. And thank you so much, Queen Bougie, for answering that. Oldham said nice fire when we were doing the fire and working on the charcoal. Thank you. Our charcoal's still cooking out there. We've got things going and progressing even when we're not standing over them here at Talon and Vine Farm. We do need to go check on it though. Always need to be fire safe. Communist Republic of Albania says, I live on the West Coast. It's still 6:33 p.m. Hey, very cool. So you're having, I guess it's not a long day for you because you got up later than everybody else. You sleepyhead. But you were able to get up. You were able to go throughout your day, and now you're still rocking and rolling in that day when everybody else is about to go to bed. So great to see you. Thank you for being here, spending part of your daylight hours, like you were functioning daylight here with us. It means a lot. Kuchiko says 9:33 here for real. Yeah, absolutely. Albanian says, I think on your side it's like 8:33 Emperor AP. Let's see, it sure was back at that point. That is correct. Queen Bougie said, I think they're Imperial banknotes, if I'm correct, AP. That is correct, absolutely, Queen Bougie. Imperial banknotes, excuse me, not Imperial banknotes, just called Imperial notes. They are Imperial notes. They are our currency. There is only one denomination right now. We just issue singular notes in large stacks. As we're able to use the currency functionally, we then will expand to more denominations, being able to have a little bit more of a spread and functionality to the currency. But right now, it is a way for people to support us. It's a way for people to become aristocrats and wealthy Aeternians and get the perks of those things. It's more for collection at the moment. When we are able to get a money transmitter's license legally through the United States, we can actually start to use that both in a digital currency sense, keeping log of that, and being able to have kind of online sales and transactions, as well as in a physical currency, actually working with stores and businesses and things. But that's far off in the future. We need quite a few $1,000s to get that started and maintained and get all the licensing and follow proper procedure for that. But it is in the works. Has been for years. We've been talking about that for a long time. It's one of those steps that's going to come eventually. It's just a long way down the road. Dynamic says, People's Republic of Albania says, me too. People's Republic of Kochiko says, thank you, Queen Bougie.
Oldham says, I live in the east coast of Florida, and it's 9:35 p.m. Oh yeah, you guys, Eastern time zone, it is getting late for y'all. Kunguji says, no problem. Dynamic says, I know how to stop world starvation. Pan starving. Yeah, of course, that's the solution to it all, isn't it? That's what a lot of states in the United States seem to think when they are trying to push homeless people off the street and stuff like that. It's a real tragedy. That's something that we're trying to assist with eventually providing housing for citizens and being able to help out those people who are in need in our community and those people who are looking for another country to support them because they don't feel supported themselves. So, for example, I just saw something the other day on the news, in the news online, talking about how Trump administration is now looking into or trying to sign into law something that makes it easier for states and city governments to remove homeless people from the streets. I'm not sure whether that's making it easier for them to create jail sentences for things like that, for loitering, for sleeping in the street, for having an encampment. Exactly what that is, but it's concerning. It's sad to see that the United States is in such a difficult condition, and that it's not able to feed and take care of its people as the wealthiest country in the world by far. So that being the case, we're excited to, as a much smaller nation, as a much smaller group, give some people a fair shake and show them why it is amazing to be an Aeternian. But that's a great point, Dynamic. And so if you're somebody who thinks that you can't solve all the world's problems by just banning starvation, banning homelessness, banning, all of these things, banning AI, if you think that we can instead get forward by supporting each other, by supporting progress, by supporting a baseline quality of life for all people. That is what we are here to do in the Empire of Aeternia. We want to unite the invisible and achieve the impossible, providing everybody with their basic needs here in the Empire of Aeternia, just to start with. Oldham says, thanks. Kochiko says, yeah. Dynamic says, do you collect clay? That's a great question. So we do. We have something called Vitaeum, which is actually a name coined by one of our allies, Emperor Victor of Draconia. And Emperor Victor, he does a lot with, I'm not exactly sure what you would call it, whether it's, I don't know if it's alchemy, but, some kind of like home remedy type stuff. He does some stuff that deals with ceremony, kind of religious practices, dealing with herbs and medicines and things like that. So he asked for some of his experiments, for some of his work doing things like that, asked for some clay. At Vitae, one of the things we were doing was trying to figure out how to package and sell clay that is this beautiful, deep, rich Alabama red clay that we find all the time at Vitae, that we were using for our own pottery and things like that. So we actually sold a few packages of that red clay. Super grateful for the nations that bought those, by the way. One of which we just gave it to them for free, the Draconian Empire. Again, Emperor Victor getting some of that, using it for his own purposes. We had a few others as well that actually went out of their way to purchase that and to use it for different things. We have a number of people who have sent us things from that. So incredibly grateful for those who have supported us with the Alabama red clay, with the Vitaeum that we produced. And we kind of just stopped. We had manufactured a lot of it in one big bulk bunch. We got a few sales off of it. We got some support and the ability to continue funding more development out of Vitae. That's part of the way that we were able to get some of the experimental dwelling built, some of the supplies that we were able to purchase. So going from that, where we were focused on that red clay, now we are jumped on a bunch of different projects. We were working on a lot of different things. So we haven't had time to revisit that Vitaeum, that Alabama red clay, but I would love to. That's something super important. It's something that people liked. It's something that's cool and unique about our territory, and it's cultural. So absolutely. What do you ask, Dynamic? People's Republic of Kochiko says, later in the future of the People's Republic of Kochiko, I want to buy a cheap property to develop something like 5 to 15 acres. That would be incredible, and I wish you luck. That's Certainly a tough goal, but an achievable one. If we are any examples stumbling into it, having just the right luck at the right time, you can do it, absolutely. It is possible. It's incredibly hard. It will get harder in the future, but I believe in you 100%. Dynamic says we only have 0.537 acres. That does not matter at all. That's a lot more than a lot of people have. That's big for us to say or whatever, with the acreage we have. But at the same time, you can get a lot out of that. Vitae, our capital territory, is 3 acres. So it's 6 times the size of you, but even still right now, it is completely undeveloped. We're using maybe half an acre, probably less than half an acre of Vitae as it stands right now. Again, very undeveloped. That's us trying to start a garden out there that we weren't able to get out to enough, so we didn't take care of it enough. But starting a, 10th of an acre, maybe, garden plot out there, starting maybe a 10th of an acre or so, spot to develop a little shed, a little building out there. It's possible. Half an acre, if you have a house on that half an acre, that'll take up a significant amount of it, but there's some backyard there. There's some room to do some things. You can do agriculture, you can do gardening, you can create cultural works and make that half acre a really interesting place to be and a fun thing for people to support and to visit. There's a lot you can do with half an acre, and I am incredibly excited to see what you do with it. Oldham says, I hope to have allies that are kingdoms, republics, communists, and empires. Interesting. So you want this full spread of micronational entry. You want to see what's out there in the world of micronational governments. You want to try to, it sounds like, bring all those together. You want to be the middleman. You want to be the connector of nations. And that's wonderful. I wish you luck. Kohiko says, also, since they would probably and make some factory mills. That sounds pretty cool. Queen says, AP, are you open to solar panels at Vitae? We are absolutely open to solar panels at Vitae. And I tell you what, Queen Bougie, have you seen our videos on solar? If you haven't, we have a video specifically on solar panels and us doing experiments with solar panels that we have. We have them actually, the same ones, out here that we are excited to use. We just haven't set them up, haven't started testing with them. There's been so much stuff to do in so many great ways that we unfortunately can't get to all the amazing things that we have the potential to do. So still in the works, but definitely go and check out our video on solar panels because you can kind of see what we have to work with there, get an idea for the limited scope that we can work with. And then also we have videos more recently about batteries. So those battery videos would be great to show you kind of our storage capacity and those capabilities. One of the things we don't have yet that is crucial for that we are going to probably create a video around once we eventually get one, is an inverter. Now that takes our DC from our solar panels and our batteries and converts it into AC so that we can run lights and wall outlets and all that kind of stuff that we want to. So that inverter is going to be probably a pretty expensive item to buy. We can make a cheap one, a rudimentary one, but it'll be a little dangerous and it won't work for all devices, so it'll have kind of a limited capability. But that being the case, if we have to wait long enough to get one, we'll do something quick and dirty. But if not, if we can actually buy a nice one and move forward with that, that would be ideal. And then we can just keep scaling up to the size limit of that inverter. Kohiko says, my government is a mix of communism and capitalism. Very cool. Also, just to jump back to you, Queen Bougie, one more time, go check out those videos. Let me know what you think. And I know you sent me a huge email. Queen Bougie is a very interesting person. He is incredibly thoughtful, incredibly well-versed, not only in diplomacy, obviously, as a queen, but also in matters of developing a state, of, expressing his opinions and trying to, develop solid plans. So I'm incredibly proud to be able to say that Queen Bougie sent me a long email the other day expressing his interests and his thoughts on the Garden of Nations, on our progress and our developments together. And I'm incredibly excited to continue to do more with Mecklenburg and with Queen Bougie. That all being the case, I think, that solar project and those ideas, just another one of those things for us to talk about when I can eventually sit down and craft my own proper, formal, dignified response to Brown's Palace and Queen Bougie. Kochiko says, my government's a mix of communism and capitalism. That's an interesting. I said that earlier, and I went back to Queen Bougie, and now I'm coming back to that comment, and that comment is stranger than I reacted to. I reacted very tamely to that. What does that mean? What does that mean? It's communist and capitalist, fundamentally opposed to each other. How do you make that work? Dynamic says, I believe mine is democratic. I'm gonna have to check. That's very interesting. One that you need to check, figure it out. But the second one, so communism and capitalism are like economic systems. So you don't necessarily have to be a particular governance type to have those types of economic systems. That being the case, though, you being democratic, more than likely, no, I can't even say more than likely is one way or the other. There are plenty of socialist democracies, there are plenty of capitalist democracies. That just is irrelevant. You can be democratic if you check and you go, we are democratic, that's perfectly fine. You can still be communist or capitalist economically. There's still just a question for you to maybe think about, try to develop in your nation. I'd be curious to know how your government works. Because see, if Kachiko said, we're democratic and we're socialists, we're a democratic socialist nation, we're democratic communists, we're democratic capitalists, those would all kind of make sense. It wouldn't be too weird. The fact that they said two opposing economic systems and said we're this, it's not impossible, I guess. You can kind of coin anything and shove it together, but what does it mean to you? How does Kochiko, work? That's just that's a tough concept to wrap my head around. Oldham says, my government is nationalist. Oh goodness, not good. Don't be nationalist. Albanian says, Oldham, I can be one of your allies. Albanian says, yes, Oldham. Dynamic says there's multiple different types of clay. There's rich red clay, which is what we have. There's also a tan colored clay. The reason for that is iron oxide inside of the clay. But it can also be a dark tan color. Makes sense. We have that rich Alabama red clay. It's a little darker. Albanian says, an Emperor AP, what stuff did you ban in your micronation? That's a great question. Things we've banned in our micronation. We haven't banned very much in our micronation. Bigotry. Bigotry is a big one that we have banned. And you would say, how are you banning bigotry in your micronation? Our Discord server is a place where all micronations are welcome to come and discuss and bring their ideas to the table and work together. That being the case, unfortunately, and many micronationals know this, it's not just us that deals with it. There is a large problem in the micronational community of people who are standing behind keyboards, sitting behind them, on their phone, whatever, jumping into Discord servers, being incredibly rude, being incredibly hurtful to people, sometimes even doxing or bombing the servers, attacking the servers, jumping out, trying to get them shut down, trying to just spam them, causing problems, being rude, hurtful, being trolls. It sucks. There are people who are spending days and weeks and months planning things out with their friends, supporting these different groups and interests that they have, really getting into something that they care about, that they spend their time. Maybe they work a job, maybe they go to school, maybe they do whatever it is that they do, spend time with their family, help live their life outside of that, and then they come together to all really make this community and bring this thing to life that is for good, is for, supporting the ideas that people believe in for what their lives should be like and how they should live and how they want others to be treated. And to come into that and kind of disrupt it and be rude and be disrespectful to people is awful. We had that problem a ton in our Discord server. We had it a lot worse in years past, especially when we first launched the server, because people didn't think about the rules. They didn't care. They figured we're coming in and we're saying what we're going to do and who's going to stop us. We kick people out. Unfortunately, I hate that happens, but we kick people out regularly. We ban people permanently from the server because they'll post imagery of 1930s Germany, or they'll post just the worst insults, rude stuff. They will insult people's intelligence, their religion, their race, their nation, whatever it is. they will find a way to attack people and hurt people and disrupt the conversation. So that's something that we have banned. Bigotry, not being accepting, not believing that all people deserve a baseline quality of life, some baseline equality to be treated on the basis of, we don't tolerate that. We don't accept that in person, online, anything. If you're an aeternian, if you're somebody within our sphere of influence, if you're somebody within our supporting, aristocracy or a supportive nation of ours, and you are bigoted, you don't support people who are different cultures, who are different sexual orientations or gender identity, that we don't do that here. We are accepting of everyone. We want to treat everybody as equals and take them as they are, and treat everybody with kindness. So bigotry, that's a big one that's banned here. And that's hard, right? Because what does it mean to be bigoted? There are a lot of questions about that. And there can be nuances that are taken into consideration, but we go with what people's intentions are, what they mean, what they're trying to do. So we very carefully monitor that. We, especially for those who are going to be citizens, even more so for anybody who would even consider becoming a part of our government, that's something that is thought about and observed in people. And we really, really watch carefully to try and make sure that citizens align with our ideals and our belief systems. So bigotry. Bigotry would be the big one. That's a great question, Albanian. Number one fan in the chat currently for a great reason. Dynamic says, we are mostly using about 90% of our land in our main capital is mostly agriculture with a mix of clay production. By the way, we only produce about 4,000 crops annually. That's a lot. You only produce 4,000 crops annually. That's impressive. Talon Vine Farm does not produce 4,000 crops annually. Granted, we're just getting started out there, but we absolutely do not do that. So if you honestly produce 4,000 crops, you are doing great. You are doing very, very well. Kuchiko says, Oldham, I'm also looking for allies. Hey, very cool. We love to make connections here in the micronational community. Oldham said yes. People's Republic said, got Discord. Hey, they're connecting. Oldham says, my micronation is bigger than Molossia. That's awesome. I think Molossia is interesting because they're, such an iconic nation. But they have a piece of land that's more than 99% of micronations have. I wager a bet easily 99% of micronations do not have physical territory that they can claim as legally theirs, recognized by a macronation. That's tough. That's a hard thing for anybody to get, the fact that yours is bigger than Molossia's. Molossia isn't huge, but it's, I think, a few acres, maybe half an acre or something like that. Could be even 2 or 3. That being the case, Molossia is, a little bit bigger than a house. It's not huge, can't fit 1 million people on it, but it is still nonetheless one of the most famous micronations in the world, incredibly impressive, and run by a very cool person, very cool family. So, it is interesting, develop that value for yourself. That would be my biggest advice, if you care to take advice at all from me. If you're saying United Oldham bigger than Molossia, that's a point for us. That's something that we're moving forward with. That's our selling point. That's what people should, maybe not the only reason people should support you, but something that is a benefit. That's a way that we can show off on the world stage. That's how we can get some more recognition and being able to say, look, we have opportunity. Look at how much Molossia has done with the size of their territory. We have a bigger territory. We have options. We have things we can do. Start showing that. Start, flexing those muscles a little bit, really proving what Oldham can make on that territory. And I think that will open that up for you. That'll showcase a lot as far as saying, dang, yeah, this micronation, Molossia has done all this stuff. Look at Oldham popping up. We didn't even expect Oldham to be doing all this. You could really show that up and then go with the backup. You've already impressed people, you've already wowed them with whatever you're doing, and then you say, and by the way, we're just a little bigger than Molossia, so we have a lot that we can do. We're a little bigger than Molossia. Hope you heard of us. Hope I hadn't lost all of you. Dang, that didn't work. That wasn't a good one. It was kind of, I went off beat. I messed it up. But that's my advice dice my two. If I were making those moves and trying to figure that out, I would push for that. Great topic, Oldham. Kochiko says, DM me. Hey, they're making connections, they're making allies. Queen Bougie, number 2, top fan. Thank you guys so much. Queen Bougie says, yes, the batteries. Didn't you say you had enough to power a small home? Yes, absolutely. And even more than that now. We have continued to collect those batteries and amass them. We don't have them all disassembled and collected into battery banks, but our one experimental battery bank right now is, gosh, I had the numbers previously. Somebody go back and watch that video and tell me at some point. But we had those numbers. This battery pack, you know, for example, these 2 lights that are around me, I demo that in our latest battery video, showing that it can run those. I don't know if I showed that it can run both of these lights, actually. I take that back. I might have just shown the build of the battery. But I will, I'll show. It can power these 2 lights, and it can power them for hours. I think I did the calculation, you know, maybe not 24 hours, but pretty close to it. And these are very small, very efficient LED lights, so it's not anything crazy. But being able to say, hey, now we can take that out to Vitae, you know, have it charged up, and then we have a light source, 2 significant, I mean, pretty bright light sources. Let me show you guys, just to give an example of that effect. You know, these are little studio lights. These are decently sized. Running both of those at the same time off of a battery pack that's, you know, a 12-volt battery pack, maybe about that big. That's cool. That's useful. That is lights that we can set up for doing construction, for working out at the day and night. That's something that we could bring out that could probably run a little power drill, you know, charge some batteries for us to run more things, or, you know, have a heating element for us to be able to cook or do something like that. You know, to run a water pump to be able to water our garden more efficiently, keep something alive out there. There's opportunity with that. Now, again, we have limits to what we can actually take and bring out to Vitae and set up, and how often we can go out there, because it's still a distance from us. But that is narrow. That's becoming, we're getting more opportunity, which means we can build more tools, things like those batteries, that we can use to prep, such that when we finally do make a trip out to the table, we've got all our equipment, we've got stuff set up, and we can be 2, 3, 4 times faster than we were previously with no tools, no equipment, and hardly a plan, because we had such limited tools and equipment and manpower. You know, we can go out there full force, decked up in equipment, and get quite a bit knocked out in a day, especially once we have the funding to purchase the rest of the materials we need to finish our experimental dwelling. It's effectively a little shed out there, partially built shed right now, but once we can get that out there, we can store our tools. So then it's, hey, now we can bring things like the batteries and the lights and the tools that we need, and we can store them at Vitae and lock them up. And then when we go out there, we don't have to bring tools and equipment back and forth. We can keep stacking equipment out there and build another dwelling and lock more stuff in it and keep going. And, you know, start to develop the dwellings into more permanent housing and things like that. Start fixing them up, making them into something reliable, a repeatable design that we can mass produce in the sense of 5, 6, 8 out at Vitae, and being able to provide actual opportunity for individuals, maybe couples, to live out at Vitae and start to develop something for very low cost for themselves. Let's see. Albanian says, my micronation, I banned crocs, any type of fish and fascist people. Hey, very good things to ban. Crocs, you go on the slowjamastan route, I get it, jump on that. Very cool. I'm sure slowjamastan would love to hear that. We had a video with slowjamastan, a music video, Royal Life. You should check it out. In that, you know, of course the croc hate comes out. It happens. Any type of fish and fascist people, yeah, of course, get the fascists out for sure. Fascist people, again, in banning bigots and bigoted behavior, fascists kind of just, trip their way into that category. So, you know, there in the Venn diagram of bigots and fascists 100% is just a subset in the bigot part of the Venn diagram. So that being the case, we get rid of those fascists too. We get them out of here. Kachiko says, so we have 2 tiers. Oh, very cool. Queen Bougie says, absolutely, AP. I appreciate you, honestly. Of course. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting us. And again, one of these days, we're going to get that show going. Queen Bougie and I have talked about planning for a show. I've had this idea for a show for a while for Micronation. I'm excited about it. I don't want to give away too much, but Queen Bougie, at some point, we're out here. We're at Vitae. If I can get a good internet set up out here, let me know how this stream is, by the way, because this stream right now is run off of the Wi-Fi, my phone's internet. If I could get solid Wi-Fi out here set up, my laptop would be a lot better shape to do a more formal live stream, something a little more impressive. But I don't know how stable that's going to be or how reliable that's going to be. I could set up and it's garbage the whole time. So we'll have to play that by ear, but eventually we're getting that internet out here. We're having the Hall of the Empire decked out, ready to go, full studio mode, and we're going to blast forward with I think, a pretty cool idea. I'm sure Queen Bougie will act with grace, talent, and of course, a little bit of cunning in dealing with and discussing with different entities in the micronational community that maybe he's encountered before and maybe are all new to the people of Mecklenburg and Brown's Palace. So it'll be exciting. I think we'll build some stakes with it. I think we'll get people wrapped up in, there will become some lore to it, I'm sure. So I'm excited to see how this works. I'm also curious, if we get different micronational leaders in the same room, will they, I'm giving away too much, but will that lead to things outside of it? Will it, build further alliances or maybe, a little tension between micronations? We'll get to see how different micronations interact and, what their beliefs are, how they work together, how they clash. It'll be cool. We'll learn a lot about these different micronations and their leaders and the purpose of these nations. Oldham says, my micronation will be bigger than Molossia in Nevada and same size like Talassia in Wisconsin. Oh, interesting. I don't know about Talassia. Hit us up. You gotta teach us, Oldham. Teach us the way. Chico says you get paid 500 CL, which is their currency. If you don't really help out, you get paid 1100 CL if you're a good member. Oh, makes sense. Okay. So you're like, we're trying to incentivize people to work real hard, give it their best. If you kind of want to take a more relaxed route, that's totally possible. Maybe if you have other priorities in your life, maybe you're disabled, maybe there's something going on where you just can't be as productive as other people. That's okay. The government still supports you, still helps you out. 1100, you're paid straight off the bat. That's to help you get by. That's amazing. That's a social safety net. That's something that we want to do here in the Empire of Aeternia. We want everybody to have their base needs taken care of eventually. We can't offer that to everybody right now. That's unreasonable for us. We can hardly do that for ourselves. We're just getting ourselves stable and able to start growing and pushing and doing more and more. So now that we're doing that, we're starting to try and cut back our costs with things like agriculture, with things like trying to create renewable energy sources, trying to work on products that we can sell from our harvest. All of that is in the effort to minimize all of our costs, all of our imports from the United States of America, the American Republic, run by the Orange Fella, and also any other nations we need to import things from those places. There's so much that we have to buy just constantly to survive every day. And as a micronation, we need to make differences. We need to be more sustainable, first off, to support the planet, to support our own growth and development, and just to, be independent. So we're going to be working hard on that. We're working on that right now. That's the phase we're in. And then over time, our hope is as we get more citizens, as the citizens that we have now, amazing people, Joey, David, Dakota, James, when we have more people like that coming in, we can continue to give them benefits. So one of the things that I asked about earlier, nobody said it in the comments, I'm jumping in at y'all, is August 20th. 12,025 is our 9th founding day. 9 years, nearly a decade of this empire's growth and development, leading us from a point where we were a concept on a page, just a name in a notebook, and a dream in my heart, saying that we can create a nation that can live forever, that can support those who have been cast aside, treated as invisible, and we can build a future of progress that people can be proud of. And the Empire of Aeternia started. We slowly developed. We started our history and our culture. We developed the concept of the arrow of progress and followed its guide as we developed. We went from having nobody watching our live streams for hours and hours on end to getting some support, to starting to crawl into hundreds of subscribers, into thousands of subscribers. Now we are at nearly 3,500 subscribers. 9 years later, we have some modest but sincere community support on Patreon, something that when we first started, I would have had no, even in my wildest dreams, thoughts that we would get to. Incredible support. We now have 2 territories in the Empire of Aeternia. One that we bought thanks to support of people like you. It wasn't all with that. We had to put a lot in ourselves, but you guys helped to make the difference in us being able to get the tag, to be able to start feeling safe, to be able to start building and growing. And then that happens again with Talon and Vine. We get this amazing opportunity. We jump on it. We are now putting our money where our mouth is. We are really trying to crank up our support and development to say, we are trying to get people into a situation where they can be taken care of. These people in the United States that are running it are trying to take people's rights away, trying to hurt people, trying to scare people, and we are not ashamed to say that. We want to be different. We want to help out, we want to love, we want to support, and we want to build a voice for those that feel they don't have one. So, that being the case, that is what we are doing. We are the Empire of Aeternia. We have officially gone for 9 years, and we are now going to be moving forward on our 9th, pushing into a decade of the Empire of Aeternia. So we need to get some celebration going. We need to get some additional benefits and perks for our citizens. So that's going to be some stuff we talk about coming up in future streams. But somebody, I can see their capital letters on their comment. Kochiko says, check the fire, please. Please check the fire. Now Dynamic saying it, check the fire. They're screaming. Kochiko says, check the fire. Queen Bougie saying, in her very gallant, very demure way, very fancy, in his very fancy, very elegant, queenly manner, he says, AP, they're saying check the fire. These people, they're trying to make you aware of your fire. Please go check your fire, AP. It is of urgency to your people. And I say, Queen Bougie, I say, Dynamic, I say, Kochiko, we will go check that fire. Oh, I'm so behind in the comments. I can already see it. Let me turn it on here. Let me walk out to go check the fire, and we will be back. Just for you guys. We'll go do it. Give me just 1 second. Excuse me, I'm coughing. Fire's already getting to me. I can smell it already. Oh, we're just walking straight into the dark. You guys coming with me, so I can't be scared with you guys here. Yeah, no, it's just pitch black, 100%. Can't see anything. Fire has for sure gone out because it is absolutely dark. I can just smell the smoke as I get closer to it. Walking up to it, feeling up, found it. Yep, okay, so this is where the fire pit is. This is where the fire pit is. It's completely dark. Cannot see a thing, so I don't think we're going to be going too far. What I'm trying to do... Hey, hold up, I found it. Oh, no, this is a stick. This might work. I was going to try and lift up our charcoal tin to check it, but I was worried about it. I think we might be able to get it. I don't know. Let's see. I'm hitting it. You guys are just getting an audiobook version of an accounting of me trying to get this bucket picked up. We got it. Oh, it's smoking. It's smoking a lot. Okay. Oh, wow. The fire's still going. Let me show you guys just real fast. That fire still roaring. Still hot under there. These things still cooking. I might actually just throw them back on, let them keep going for a little bit. I mean, they're not really doing much, but they're fine. This thing isn't going to catch unless we actually take that top off, which we don't want to do because that will burn it up.
but they're doing well. What we're going to do is let those cool overnight. That hopefully won't allow them to get too much moisture, but I'll, when the fire dies down, when we finish talking, guys, I will go ahead and take them to a concrete pad that we have out in the yard, and I'll set it out there away from the fire so that it continues to cool overnight, so it's sealed up and in a relatively dry place away from the dew. And then tomorrow I will run it and give you guys an update. If you follow us on Instagram, we can post an update at some point. I meant to do one for today, but I figured I might as well take the time to go ahead and stream and talk to you guys before it went too long since we've seen each other. So I figured that'd be an important way to spend the evening. And that's what we worked on. Let's see. Hey, Gumbuji said 9 years. Thank you so much. Kochiko says 9 years. Oldham says the date to my micronation is in July 16th. Very cool. Is that for the, how many years has your micronation been around? Oldham said yes. Queen Bougie said tears and smiling. Thank you so much, Queen Bougie. Quail says hi. Hey Quail, thank you for being here. If you don't know, we are the Empire of Aeternia. We follow the arrow of progress, and we are trying every day to unite the invisible and achieve the impossible, trying to get people who feel they have been cast aside by their nation the baseline quality of life that they deserve, and we're trying to build the future that people can believe in as we follow progress. So, that being the case, continuing to push forward out here at Talon and Vine Farm. Continuing to try and get new things developed. Again, right now we are in our elderberry production season, so we're trying to get all these elderberries off the plant as quickly as possible, off the, I guess, bush. my tripod sank down a little, but we're trying to get them off the bush as quickly as possible. From there, we're going to be rushing directly into production of products. Elderberries don't last super long. You can dry the elderberries, you can sell fresh elderberries, but that's kind of a tough thing to do, especially with their short shelf life. So we're probably going to just go ahead this year, before we really know what a market is like for that, and just make syrup so that people can get some elderberry syrup from us. From there, that, a lot longer shelf life will be a lot more stable for us to work with and try and sell. And then from there, going to muscadines. We'll hopefully have a bunch of muscadine and pecan products additionally. So, exciting things to talk about. Albanian said we can't see. Fair. Kachiko says, since you're behind on the comments, just read the present comments if everyone's okay with that. Fair enough. I'm catching up slowly but surely. Oldham says, my micronation will have mini tanks, RC planes. Crazy. Kochiko says, what's your Insta? Go ahead and check the description if you'd like to. But it's Aeternian Empire. It's the @ for the different Instagram handles, and AeternianEmpire. I wish I could throw up a little text right here. If anybody knows our Instagram and has seen it, or just can write those two words smushed together for me in the description, or in the comments, that would help. Aeternian Empire is our Insta. Sheepland says hi. Hey Sheepland, it's been a minute. How are you? How are things going? How are the sheep? Right now we are in Talon and Vine Farm. We don't have any sheep here at Talon and Vine Farm, but we do have one eggplant growing in our garden. First raised bed for the Garden Nations. We have our second raised bed officially launched today, being built. We don't have plants in it yet. We still need to put a liner in it when I can go and find the liner, but we had the first casing we have the casing built for the second raised bed. Big progress. That's doubling the capacity of the Garden Nations, and allowing us to put probably a little more than half now of the plants that we had grown previously into raised beds. So those will get filled up. Those will kind of perk back up, come to life, produce a little bit more for the rest of the season for us. Maybe in the late September, something like that, early October. Then they'll die back. We'll start. We'll probably have actually some fall plants going in at that point. So we will see how it goes. Kochiko says our Independence Day is July 24th, 2025. Yesterday. Oh wow! So did you create Kochiko yesterday? And Kochiko says hi. Dynamic says, is 4,000 a lot for 7 months of agriculture?
it depends on where you are and what you're doing, I guess. Yeah, I mean, $7,000 US, for example, that's a lot of money now. Is $7,000 a lot of money for 7 months to, sustain a family, right? Or $4,000 for 7 months of work to sustain a family in the US? That's going to be very tough. To sustain maybe one person who has their utilities and everything else taken care of, that's just kind of pocket change, walking around money, extra spending money. You could do it. It'd be a very limited type budget, but you could do it. I think that's tough. I think if you have $4,000 for 7 months of agriculture work, and you're in the U.S. and you're making $4,000, I would say you probably have some full-time job or somebody in your nation, in your family, whatever it is that is helping you farm. That those people probably have other sources of outside income to help supplement that if they're only making $4,000 for 7 months. But if that's additional income, that's fantastic. If that's primary income, that's concerning. You may need to expand. You may need to take on additional external income. Kochiko says yes. Albanian says, my nation is almost a decade from the fascist Republic of Congo, the Communist Republic of Albania. What? Albanian. I hope you're not, it sounds like you guys broke off, so you guys are an offshoot that survived from a nation that was fascist, but you guys didn't want to be fascist, so you became a different thing. If that's the case, good. Kachiko says, almost like growing 1,000 crops in South Sudan. Oh, wow. Okay. So you're in South Sudan. Then maybe, yeah, 4,000 may be a lot of money. Oldham says, but I will invite Communist Republic, Kingdom, half communist and capitalist and Empire to my Independence Parade. Wow, interesting. Let us know how the Independence Parade goes. That sounds cool. That sounds like a fun time. Kochiko says yes, but it has been around since 2019. Very cool. Dynamic says it's pears, eggs, figs, tomatoes, bell peppers, grapes, and more. That's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. That's awesome. Kochiko says we have 3 failed empires. Wow. I'm curious to know how that went. Dynamic says, I mean 4,000 crops. Yeah, 4,000 crops. That's not. Now, again, what does 4,000 crops mean? Is that 4,000 grapes? Because if you had 4,000 grapes may not be a ton of grapes. It's a lot of grapes. That's more than one person can eat amount of grapes. But that's not a lot of grapes for, say, a winery or something like that. That may be a fairly modest standard amount of grapes. Depends. If that's 4,000 ears of corn, 4,000 ears of corn is a very significant amount of corn. 4,000 watermelons, significant amount of watermelons. Depends on what you're growing. You guys have figs, grapes, a lot of different stuff. That 4,000 figure may be a blend of that. That sounds like potentially like a medium-sized farm. That's awesome. You guys are doing a lot. That's cool. Dynamic says, yeah, I mean 4,000 crops. Oldham says, I'm sorry, Kachiko. Albanian says, yes, Emperor AP, that's true. Hey, very cool. I'm glad you guys fought the good fight against fascists. Burning Star IV says, dang, haven't seen one of these streams in years. Y'all still have Nick on or not? Hey, Burning Star, great to see you. If you are from the nickabenson YouTube channel, we absolutely do still have Jet on the live streams. Jet, good friend, has been for many, many years, as you know. And yes, we absolutely do still have him on. We have made a lot of progress as an empire in those many years since you've been gone, but we have also still remained close friends with Jet. Jet is one of our patrons. He is a big supporter of the empire. He is somebody who has gained recognition and awards in our empire. He is an integral part of our development and an amazing friend, as always. If you know anything about Nick, an amazing stand-up guy, and yeah, I hope you still watch his videos. I hope you still subscribe to him and check out what he's doing. He's been doing a lot of AI stuff lately, so definitely check that out. He is very talented, very cool. I'm personally a fan of Jet. I have been a fan of Jet since before this channel was really developed, before content was put on it. Kachiko says the idea. Also, which era of our nation are you from? What was going on when you last watched the streams? I'm curious to hear, Darkstar. Queen Bougie says, AP, I have to admit, I was a little nervous about my email, but hearing your response, I kind of knew I was speaking to the right person. Absolutely. Queen Bougie, I am so incredibly thankful that you have been supporting us, that you have been here trying to make progress, and not only in support of us, but just for Mecklenburg. You have a good idea. You have the passion, you have the pizzazz, you have the attitude to get it done. Queen Bougie, you are the man that Mecklenburg needs. You are the person that your family needs. You are the person that your friends need. People develop, whether it's nations, whether it's businesses, whether it's friendships, relationships, based on what their community needs. People see something, people feel something, and that thing, if it resonates with people, it'll grow and it connects and it builds. I think Mecklenburg is you know, the tincture, the ale, the assistance for what ails, I suppose, for your community, maybe for what people need. So you creating Mecklenburg is powerful. You pushing forward with your ideas and being just who you are is powerful. And I support it. I love to see it. You're charismatic. You're wonderful. I love watching your content. And we need more of it. So I'm excited to do what I can to see Mecklenburg grow, and I hope we can work together and develop our friendship and our close ties more and more as time goes on. Ooh, there's something weird. Oh, he's a cricket. There's a cricket on the floor, and I don't like it, but he's fine. I won't kill him. Kachiko says 3 failed empires are undocumented. Interesting. So you developed 3 empires. They didn't work out. You then go, okay, we're going to become a People's Republic. And that's the one that you really found, and you really write out a lot of documentation and develop in a more formal, recorded way. Pretty cool. Queen Bougie says, I felt like I overstepped, and I'm even more excited. LOL. You're good. You're doing great, and I am excited to see that growth and development. You're killing it. You don't need to worry about it. Oldham said, it's alright, Oldham. Burning Star said, from y'all's high school, LMAO. Hey, no, we were in college. Those streams, I get thinking we're in high school. We were early. Jet was probably about middle of his degree in college. I was in my second year. Well, that's basically mid. Jet was almost done with his. I guess he was in his 3rd year. I was in my 2nd year of my degree. Yeah, we're in college with the bachelor's, with the undergrad. I'm still in college, just now going for a master's, getting close on it. But yeah, absolutely. You have been here for years. You've been here since, it sounds like the start of Jet and I's friendship. So thank you so much for checking in, and hopefully that time capsule, this time capsule of our development, of our culture, of everything that we are, really is showcased to you. One of the things that's amazing about this, I hate talking about Stemeria, but I'm gonna talk some stuff for a second. When we developed a beef with Stemeria, one of their hardest criticisms of us, and they expressed this in private as well as I think to some degree in public, that they just wanted to let us know, hey, you know, we think that the video styles that you do, we think that the content that you make is silly, it's a joke, it's not something to be taken serious. It looks bad to us. We don't want to deal with you. We don't want to really, you know, touch that. That's gross. That's not the brand image we want to create. So, you know, you need to change the format of your content. You need to change the style of that. You need to develop in a different way if you're gonna work with us. And so I explained back and I pushed back and I said, you know, that offends me. This is our culture. And those videos are a connection to who we are and our history and our development. Even though the videos may have humor in them, even though they may be lighthearted, that's still fundamentally a part of who we are. That's our history. That's what has made us over the years. That's showing our development and our progress. And I'm still a human being on the other side of the camera. You're still watching me age and grow and progress. And all of the people who are assisting us and a part of this and who come in and out and become citizens and leave, you're watching their lives develop. So as silly as the videos may be, as much stuff as there is with that, this Dark Star, seeing somebody who's saying in our live chat right now, hey, I've been here for years. I came in when you first developed a friendship with this guy. It looked like you guys were in high school, super young. You leave for years, come back and go, oh man, it's been years since I've watched this. And now you see us with 2 territories when previously we had 0. You have missed the entire development of these 2 territories. You've seen me now looking much older, having grown older. I'm sure if you check out Jet's channel, nickabenson, you can see his channel where he's gotten older, where he's progressed, where he's doing different types of content now, where his art's progressed and changed. This is history. This is the history of our nation. This is the history of the people whose lives have been affected by it and who are actively helping to build it, whether they're citizens or otherwise. This is us. This is who we are. This is what it means to be Aeternian. And we are silly sometimes. We are serious sometimes. We are passionate always. We are motivated by a drive to build something better for ourselves and the people we care about. And you are the proof, Dark Star. You being here is just that check-in. That feels so good to me. That warms my heart. I just want you to know that, because it is just that little bit of reassurance. It's that reminder years later. Again, you came in and left prior to any issues with any other micronation. You know, this beef we have with Samaria. You've not seen our development of these territories. You haven't seen the progress of everything over the years. But you did see that really early part, and then now you're coming to check in, and that made me feel so warm and fuzzy inside to hear you say, y'all were in high school or whatever. And I know exactly what era you're talking about. Young college Jet and AP. Very baby-faced for sure. But that's who we are, man. That's the era of progress. That's the Empire of Aeternia. You watched that live. You saw it happen. You have seen me age years and be a mortal, a human being. We're sharing that. You're getting to see this. Unfortunately, one day I will pass away. And as sad as that is to say, you guys will have this documented. This will hopefully be here if I'm lucky enough to have children and be able to pass on the culture of Aeternia and the ideas of Aeternia to them, and it becomes something to them, and they're able to contribute in whatever ways they do, in whatever fields they become a part of. If they can help out and be citizens, that's something they want to do. This is there for them. This documentation of their parent and their parents' friends and what they looked like when they were young, and what they were passionate about and what they were doing. These are things that, myself, I have older parents. One of my parents has passed away now. The other one is almost 80. And so having pictures of them even is tough sometimes. We have a family photo albums, but like something like this where there's so much documentation and recording and progression and plot details and all this stuff about these people's lives that you couldn't even remember. I could not remember every detail of every live stream we've done with every person we've done. Impossible. So being able to go back and watch them is wonderful. It's a time capsule of our history, and you're an expression of that. You have helped to bring that to the light once again for us today. So thank you so much, helping to remind us of what it means to follow the arrow of progress. Burning Star said, hell yeah. I'll say one back with you, Burning Star. Hell yeah. And what we like to say is the equivalent in Aeternia is Aeternia forever. That's what we're about. Dynamic says, all I know about grapes are 1,000 plus and 1960 average eggs. Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool. Kuchika says, let AP catch up. I'm trying. Kuchika's, Oldham says, thanks, Kuchika. Okay, Dynamic says, but we've been growing for 7 years to growing plants while I grow my nation. That's the way to do it. You need the plants to feed the nation, and you need the nation to grow the plants. So build them together. Good idea. Kuchiko says, I used to watch your videos. I've never seen your streams. Like in 2020, I watched you. Hey, very cool. Yeah, we did a lot of edited videos in 2020. COVID going on. Did some live streams, but very few. Mainly edited videos. I got a lot out during that time. Again, COVID, online classes. It was a time for live streams, a time for videos, for sure. But thank you for being there as well. That's, again, another example of another time capsule. 2020, that whole era. Crazy. Oldham said, you probably got to see the beginning of Tiffany and I's relationship, maybe. Oldham says, I'm ready to my crop sooner. I'm ready to my crop sooner. I'm guessing you're saying you're excited to harvest your crops, in which case, congratulations. Communist Republic of Albania says the Fascist Republic of Congo collapsed and birthed four micronations named are the Communist Republic of Albania, and Communist Republic of Linton, People's Republic of Voltage, and the Tree Republic. Voltage is crazy. They be shocking people. Alexander Volta, I think, is it? Or is it Alexei Volta? I think it's. Is it Alexandro Volta? Something. Anyway. The scientist, the physicist, the engineer who developed the volt, the unit, who it's named after, who did amazing science with electricity. People's Republic of Kochiko says, is there any advice to grow your micronation? Yes. Do it for a reason that you feel is addressing a critical and unsolved problem. That's a lot of meat on a few words. I really hope you digest that and take that to heart. That's something that is a very simple, easy to pass up statement, but is something that you can revisit over and over again as you develop a micronation through the years, if that's something you're really serious about, and you can kind of see how your nation fills that need more and more. You got to fill a need with people. You got to make that value for people, and it needs to be something that they can't just easily fill the need for somewhere else. You need to provide solid value for people. That's my biggest piece of advice. Oldham says, my crops are peppers, tomatoes, and cocoa beans. You guys have cool crops. Cocoa beans? You have your own chocolate? Incredible. I want to live in a tropical climate so I could grow cocoa beans. That sounds amazing. I would for sure make Aeternian chocolate, Arrow of Progress, all day in a chocolate bar. And I would absolutely go crazy on our own chocolate. I would eat my own supply to the fill. Yeah, I would become incredibly unhealthy, but I would love every moment of it. That's a valuable crop. Cocoa beans are very cool. Kochiko says if we added windmills in the future, it would be unreliable because we do live in the mountains. It makes sense, but maybe still for added benefit here and there when you do get those gusts of wind. Communist Republic of Albania says, but I invaded Communist Republic of Linton, People's Republic of Voltage, and Tree Republic. Interesting. So y'all all broke apart from a fascist nation. None of you wanted to be fascist. Good. Then you go, we're kind of expansionist, kind of an empire. We're gonna take over our neighbors and annex them into our nation. Taken over by force and kind of reuniting that previous empire is wild. I'm glad you guys were able to work out something that wasn't a fascist dictatorship. That's important. But at the same time, I am surprised to see that you went with a aggressive, control campaign. Maybe an interesting route to go from having previously dealt with an unstable and maybe non-representative government. But maybe you're saying now you're a republic. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited to see the development. Burning Star says, I've been keeping up with him. We went to high school, and I could have swore you were there too, but that might have just been for how long I've been coming to these. Yeah, absolutely. We didn't go to high school together. We did go to college together. I'm sure Jet has a number of friends who look similar to me, so maybe the faces blend together a little bit. But yeah, early college days, we did have those baby faces. I could totally understand blending that in with high school. He also looked a lot different. He didn't have the dreads, so crazy. His locks are a lot longer now. They've just grown throughout our friendship as well. Kind of one of the markers of progress of our friendship. He's cut them a few times. If he didn't cut them, they'd be even longer now. But that's one for sure. I've always had different haircuts. Now my hair is growing real long too. I guess as we become old men, we just are getting longer hair together. But yeah, super cool. And years of progress is staggering that you've gotten this far, and adore it. Besides, you look great, man. Thank you so much, Dark Star. That means a lot. Excuse me, Burning Star. For that means a lot. I would love for you to get to know us more. Obviously, we want you to watch the streams and hang out with us, like the videos, do all that. But I know it's easy to fall off. You know, it's content. You watch other stuff, you get into different things. I would really love to get to know you. If you want to reach out, email us. Our email's in the description, aeternianempire@gmail.com. And I'd love to know more about you, Burning Star. And, you know, if you maybe want to become a citizen or just, you know, keep up, be pen pals, I'd love to see it. So thanks for being here. And again, thanks for that time capsule. I'd love to, you know, pick your brain for some memories of Jet, maybe some old streams that I just haven't looked into. Because if you think our stream category is, our stream library, how many streams we have is a mess to look through, Jet has thousands, literally thousands of live streams to go back and look through. Years of his life, detailed and documented. So maybe Burning Star, you have some ideas for cool previous live streams, memorable moments that I should go and hunt for in those streams. Kuchiko says hello. Oh gosh, this name, come on. Hello, Aeternia. Don't mind my username. Thank you so much. Parton Antiput founder? What? I do mind your username. I appreciate it. I'm excited to see you here. Thank you so much for being here. That username, I mean, really. Wow. That's a toughie. Oldham says, also number 3 viewer right now. Thank you so much for being here, Oldham. Saying, my micronation will have steelworks, railroads, farms, solar panels, power stations, and my quarry. That sounds like a solid, you know, setup to me. If you have all those things working together, you've got a great base going for you. Making all those things profitable together individually, you know, before they all come together and can fully be realized, may be tough. I wish you luck with those. I recommend that you try to develop those in a way that makes sense to assist the others. There's easier and harder ways to go about development of all those industries, getting them to work together. So trial and error, you'll learn. We're still at the early stages of learning. So don't make me sound like this is the exactly how you do it. You will get your own way to do it, and you'll do great. But take it from somebody who's rammed his head against the wall for 8 years trying to learn the right and wrong ways to do things. Now going on 9, and we are, trying to figure out those ways to more strategically develop our industries so that they work well with each other. So that the product builds on itself and expands on itself. Oldham says, but I will help Chico and Albanian. Very cool. Dynamic says, this is not to attack nation, but why you say you have all this land, but you never use the actual land? Maybe actually 20 to 40% the land you actually use. And I could have said 36,000 feet square. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a great question. Dynamic. So the reason that we don't use that land is because we don't have the tools to work that land. So for example, right now, we moved to Talon and Vine Farm within this year, within the last month, I would say. And so that being the case, we have a farmer currently who is using most of the acreage of our land for farming beans. The people previously who lived here had an agreement with that farmer to let them for free, for as long as they wanted, come and use that back field because they weren't using it. They didn't have the equipment to use it to farm whatever produce they wanted. And so that person for free had just been using that field. This year, when we came out here and got settled, they were already part of the way through growing some beans and then actually putting those seeds out. So in taking possession of the land, we could have said, hey, you're growing beans on our land and this is ours, get out. We're taking all these beans, you can't do anything about it. That wouldn't be very neighborly, it wouldn't be very good for us to do. It would disrupt them in the middle of their harvest, it would suck. So what we've decided to do is to let them finish this, growing these beans free of charge. And then very quickly, we are going to be discussing with them terms for leasing the rest of the land. So again, we can't develop it right now. If they're willing and able to lease it, that would be a big help for us. give us some extra profit, to help us get the resources like a tractor, like tillers and seed planters and newer things and hay balers and all these things that we need to really develop the farm. Right now our focus is the small garden, trying to get something growing and showing that we can make some produce, try and make some products out of those, and our quail, trying to get some eggs, some actual meat that we can incorporate in to provide more for our citizens. Right now we're trying to provide and reduce our own costs, then we'll eventually expand for production. That's a great question, Dynamic. Also, we are running out of time. We have 5% on my phone battery, so I'm going to jump through, see what everybody's up to. The Dark Magician, great to see you. Queen Bougie said, AP, I think we can say this segment is called Ask AP. I would say so. I think that's a great idea for a segment. Also, you guys let us know what you want to see on our Instagram. Queen Bougie, if you follow our Instagram, definitely let me know. Anybody else, please let me know what you'd like to see on our Instagram. I want to post more there and on TikTok. But you guys follow us, support us, let us know what you want to see on there. Let us know what you want to see on YouTube Shorts. Please keep us updated, keep engaging with us. We're on Discord, our Discord channel links in the description. And I'm going to have to jump off real fast because my phone's about to die. But I will do one more thing, say one more message, ring the bell. Aeternia Forever will be out. Burning Star said, is there a direct way to catch up on the progress of Aeternia over the years? Yes, I would say watch our edited videos. Our edited videos are a great timeline to explain stuff, especially most recently. We have a video that's about like Trump and about like what we've been doing. We also have videos on batteries, on solar panels. We've done a lot of like individual videos. We have a video that's our like anime intro, which is very cool and very silly. But it also kind of gives you an overview of who we are and what we're doing and what we're dealing with. So yeah, there's one called Our Nation 101, which is an older video. It doesn't show a lot of the newer stuff we've done, but there's some there. There's also stuff on our metals refining. Go check out our edited videos. That's probably the best source I can tell you. And then email me. I want to talk to you. I want to reach out. But thanks everybody for being here. I'm almost caught up. I know everybody's saying bye. Great to see everybody. Let me ring the bell. Oh, there's one. It's on 1%. Aeternia Forever. Aeternia Forever. See you guys. Bye.